Salam, how are you? Put it on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I like that. These guys, they didn't eat dinner. I think they're waiting for it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. I am under the weather, okay? So in the morning, I thought I would call Shaykh Zubair and say, you got this, inshallah. You take care of it. And then I felt like, okay, you know what? I'll drive. And in the beginning, my wife had agreed to come. And then right when I'm about to leave, she said, you know, normally I wake up at 11, so you can leave. I'll stay. So I said, okay, alhamdulillah. So it's good to be here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. In the khutbah, we spoke about ubudiyya, servitude, or to be the slaves of Allah. And also, the second part of the khutbah, I spoke about service to people. So how can we be grateful to Allah, to have shukr of Allah, is to use our skills, our blessings Allah gave us to benefit people. And the word I used was khidmah. Khidmah was a word. From khadama, yakhdimu, to serve. One quality, let's talk about the quality that we need to have for us to become khudama, so we can serve people. There's one quality we need. This quality is called tawadu, humility, to be humble. A humble person is able to serve people. It takes this thing to fight my ego and to go out of my way for people. Sometimes people do khidmah or serve, like I said in the khutbah in Jumu'ah, that I understand in the Muslim organizations. I know you guys are mashallah good, and you have hopefully volunteer appreciation dinners too, inshallah. I'm hoping that you appreciate the volunteers at least once a year, twice a year. We do something for the volunteers. But generally speaking, we are not good with appreciating volunteers. I volunteered once for the they're called the Arctic Winter Games. So like you have Olympics, we have in the north of Canada and Norway and all the northern Arctic countries, they have their Olympics. They call them the Arctic Games. So every few years, they're held in different north cities. So because I lived in the north, we had Arctic Games. And I also have a bus license. Bus? I have that bus license. Did I ever drive a bus? It's been like 20 years, but I still have the license. Just in case, if I ever need to drive a bus. SubhanAllah. Allah always kept me busy. But when I was a student, to pay for my tuition, the school I was studying in, the fees, they said either we take zakat from people and we help you. I said, no zakat here. I don't want zakat. There's this ghairah, this honor thing that comes in. I don't want people's zakat. But there are people who are eligible to take. So I got a bus license. I used to drive a bus. I used to earn money and pay for my fees. So I still have it for... So, subhanAllah, in the Arctic Games, I volunteered. I put my name. That I'll drive the bus. So in the bus, you have to take athletes from one arena to another in the city. I did maybe 2 shifts. Mostly I was sitting in the bus. There's no calls, nobody, maybe one ride I did. After the games were done, in the mail, I got this huge certificate, gift card, beautiful plaque. Thank you for your service. And I said, wow. But you do the same thing 10 years, 15 years for an organization, very few times you will be appreciated. But end of the day, you have to do it for what? For the sake of Allah. In ajriya illa ala Allah. An example of khidmah, like what I mentioned, tawadu, humbleness. What does tawadu mean? Tawadu doesn't mean that we look down and walk. This is not tawadu. One of my teachers used to say, this is not taqwa, how you walk like this or you act pious. This is not taqwa. This is not taqwa. You're faking it. Back home, if you want to see a pious person, they have to have a certain dress, and then they have to look at you, and then they have to go, Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. Now everyone says, whoa, this guy has some power. If you go with pant shirt, and you could be the best, mashallah, you read Quran, everything, they look at you, they're like, no, not this guy. Just your appearance. So tawadu. Tawadu means to humble yourself. One of my Shaykh, may Allah bless him, we were in the haram. I'm explaining, even young people are listening. When we humble ourselves in front of people, this doesn't mean we let them walk all over us and take advantage of us. That's not what I mean. Humble meaning, I know sometimes people might not appreciate us, but we still do the work. We humble ourselves. I know you might be older, but now you, for example, you saw this young person coming and you open the door for them. It makes you a little humble. It goes against my ego, what I like. So one of my Shaykh, we were traveling for Umrah. So at night time when we went in Masjid Nabawi, in the basement outside, the escalators, there's bathrooms in the basement. Normally we make wudu in the hotel. Generally we don't get to go there. So one morning, because we were praying in the masjid, waiting to get the spot, so we went to make wudu. I went downstairs, I see one of my teachers with his face covered. He's cleaning the toilets, cleaning the toilets. And we recognized, we said, hey, is this the Shaykh? Is he the... And this Shaykh is teaching us hadith. While in his private time, he's going to clean the bathrooms. Does he have to do this? He doesn't have to do this. But he does it out of just to bring his ego nafs, to teach his nafs that, you're not better than everyone else. It's very tough. That's why there's a Imam Ghazali rahimahullah, his risala, Ayyuha al-Walad. People say Imam Ghazali, he mubtadi', he does bid'ah. And some people so ignorant. I read his book. He's the first one who criticizes bid'ah. His book, he criticizes bid'ah, innovation. He says, يَنْبَغِي لِلسَّالِكِ أَرْبَعَ خِصَالٍ. He said, for a person who's seeking the pleasure of Allah, the path to Allah, they have to have 4 things. The first thing he says, عَقِيدَةٌ صَحِيحَةٌ. Some people think we are the only ones who talk about aqidah. Imam Ghazali is talking about aqidah. He's saying you have to have correct aqidah, without any bid'ah, without any innovation. The second thing he says, tawbatan nasuha, sincere repentance. Because sometimes you might have hurt people and they have some account against you. You can't do that. You have to get huququl ibad also forgiven. So tawbatan nasuha, repentance. The third one he says, to have no issues between you and people. And I don't remember the fourth one now. I forget. I was telling the brother, I forget nowadays. So subhanallah, the first thing I want to encourage all of us, to humble ourselves. Be humble. Be a people's person. The Prophet ﷺ used to sit with people, used to meet people. The narration says sometimes the Sahaba used to recite poetry from the Jahiliyyah time. And he would actually sit in that gathering. And sometimes he would smile, because they would sing this poetry from old days. The Prophet ﷺ was a people's person. So for us to become khudama and to do khidmah of people, the first quality is be humble. Man tawada'a lillah rafa'ahu Allah. The one who humbles themselves for the sake of Allah, Allah will raise them up. وَمَن تَكَبَّرَ, the one who becomes very egoistic, has pride, وَضَعَهُ اللَّهُ, Allah will drop this person. You saw the people in the world, the leaders who are egoistic. Remember, everybody is replaceable. You and I are replaceable. Sometimes I think, like you guys think, if I die today, what's going to happen to my kids, my wife? Everybody is replaceable. Allah takes care of everything. The day we start thinking everything is running because of me, that's the day Allah will throw you. So humility and humbleness. Muhammad ﷺ, our beloved Prophet, was a humble person. And when you're humble, you are able to serve people. وَخْفِضْ جَنَاحَكَ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Lower your shoulder, your side for the believers. Humble. You're humble. Easygoing. He wasn't, كَانَ يَخْدِمُ نَفْسَهُ. He used to serve himself. Humble. He didn't go home and say to his wife, hey, I'm the Prophet of Allah, hurry up. Sometimes we have this habit. I know sometimes we do it because of the love with our family. We're used to it. That your wife, you sit there on the table or on the floor and your wife will bring and serve and put the food for you. I know sometimes we're used to it. I'm used to it. My wife, mashallah, mashallah. I mean, you guys are recording me, man. You can't even be candid here. What's this recording all the time? Sometimes you just want to speak from the heart. Okay, it's okay. Let's come back to the script. So, being humble, the Prophet ﷺ, كَانَ يَخْدِمُ نَفْسَهُ. He used to serve himself. Very humble. Anybody could, one more thing about leadership. You can't serve people if you're not accessible. People could just walk and talk to the Prophet ﷺ. They don't need appointment. The Prophet ﷺ is standing up, about to pray, and someone comes and he starts going with this person. While people are waiting for salah, he goes with this person. Whatever he needs, he says, okay, don't worry, I'll take it. Comes back. The Prophet ﷺ said, me taking care of the need of a Muslim is more beloved to me than to do i'tikaf fi masjidi hadha. It's better for me to do i'tikaf in the Masjid Nabawi for 30 days. He says, better than that for me is to walk with a believer to help someone out, to serve them. 1 month of i'tikaf, that's a great worship. You're staying in the masjid for 30 days, praying all the salawat with jama'ah. It's a great deed. But he said, more beloved to me is for me to walk with someone to help them, to do khidmah, to serve them. So another quality of people who do khidmah, they are accessible to people. People don't need to take appointments to see them. And I said to the imams too, young imams, Shaykh Zubair is he's like my student, the young brother. The first advice I gave him, I said, you have to be a people's person. If people can't even meet you, and you don't even meet people, then what kind of imam am I? Even me, now I'm imam in a masjid, I have to meet people. You can't just be make an appointment, I'll see you tomorrow. MashaAllah, you guys take appointments with everybody, but with imam, no. We have to, Shaykh, I got a question. Is aqiqah important or not? Or is this important or not? We have a question, huh? But it's okay, we are here for you. We are here to serve you. Me as an imam, I'm here to serve you. Whatever you need, we're here for you. That's the job. You can't become all. And subhanAllah, North America, we have this culture, it's called the celebrity scholar culture. You people, I'm blaming you first, you people made some scholars into these unfallible, they're perfect human beings. Shaykh so-and-so, oof. You put him here. Now when they make a mistake, all of you are I don't like that Shaykh anymore. He's a human being. But because North American, we made Shaykh Umar Suleiman, mashallah, huh? Good man, beautiful man. If you ever spend time with him, he's a beautiful person. He never backbites. That's his best quality I've seen. Anytime in the gathering, someone changed the topic and going into backbiting, he says, brothers, that's it. This is backbiting. Beautiful quality. You guys are impressed by his lectures. You guys are impressed by personality, right? Which is beautiful, you should. One day after his talk, celebrity scholar culture, created by North Americans. It doesn't happen back home. Back home, you don't see selfies. The Shaykh is there, you meet them. If you get to meet them, you meet them. If you don't, said, okay, inshallah, next time. North America, we're Instagram and all the, so we have to make it this Shaykh is above everything. He's perfect. He's amazing. So Shaykh Umar Suleiman finished the talk. And right when he finished, mashallah, brothers, sisters, everybody jumped him. Shaykh, selfie, Shaykh, one picture. Now this poor guy, what's he gonna do? He's standing there. And he's so tall, mashallah. Everybody else is And he's like lowering himself, like he's literally humbling himself going, subhanAllah, I was the driver. I was supposed to take him from there to the hotel. So there's a back door here, and he was looking this way, and everybody, especially our sisters, young sisters, mashallah, Shaykh, selfie, selfie, and Shaykh is just standing there. Subhanallah, I was in the back door, the car is waiting, and I'm like, he's not coming. I literally walk in from the back, I grab him, I said, sorry guys, pulled him, put him in the car. He sat in the car, he said, thank you for rescuing me. You think he enjoys this? He doesn't. He's like, Shaykh, if I don't take pictures, they say he's too arrogant. And if I take pictures, the conservative Muslims say, oh, he's too liberal. This guy, he's stuck. So what did we do? Celebrity scholars, they're not accessible anymore. Can you meet Shaykh Yasir Qadi? No. Can you meet any of the famous scholars? It's not their fault. They're busy. But we made them like this now. So, quality of people who do khidmah is tawadu', humbleness, humility, and man tawada'a lillah rafa'ahu Allah. Let's take an example from Prophet Musa alayhi salam. We know Prophet Musa alayhi salam had to leave Egypt, Masr. He left. Then he went to Madian. And he went and he traveled and he came to Madian. And he found this well. And he found that these two women, two ladies, are waiting. They're not feeding their animals. While the other men who are there are feeding their animals. They're getting water. And قَالَ فَمَا خَطْبُكُمَا, and he asked them, what's your matter? And they reply, our father is old, so we are waiting for these people to finish, so then we could go. Even the women of that time had this much haya and modesty. I'm going to share one hadith with you. I just remembered. Can I share? You have time? Look, I made time, so you have to have time. And I'm off today. No school, nothing. I'm off until the 7th, alhamdulillah. Share one hadith with you. Hadith sahih. I think it's from Anas radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ said, بَيْنَ يَدَيِ السَّاعَةِ. Listen to this hadith very carefully. بَيْنَ يَدَيِ السَّاعَةِ. He said, between or before the end of time. When the hour is near. What will happen? He said, the first thing that will happen before the hour, taslimul khassa. People will make salam to only some special people. People don't even want to make salam to each other. How many of us pray in the same masjid every day, but we don't say salam to each other? And the Prophet told us that to say salam to the one, عَلَى مَنْ عَرَفْتَ وَمَنْ لَمْ تَعْرِفْ. This is actually completion of our deen. To say salam to the one you know or you don't know. The Prophet said, بَيْنَ يَدَيِ السَّاعَةِ, sign of the hour, تَسْلِيمُ الْخَاصَّةِ. People will only make salam with khas, special people. Why? Because they know there's some benefit to be gained from this person. Oh, this businessman. Oh, salam alaikum. Oh, this the rich doctor. Oh, salam alaikum. This is the rich so-and-so construction guy. Salam alaikum. Because maybe later on in my life I might need him. But the one who is driving a taxi or driving a bus or doing a labor job, does Islam differentiate between salam? No way. Salam should be, if you see someone, Salamu alaikum. Even if you don't shake their hand, it's still okay saying salam. This is important. I know sometimes we can't shake everybody's hand. Say, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. The sign of the hour, taslimul khasa. The second one, and this one is kind of وفشو التجارة حتى تعين المرأة زوجتها على التجارة. Why did I mention this? On the story of Musa alayhi salam and the women. How they didn't want to mix with the men who were getting the water, so they waited. They had their haya. They said, we don't want to go there. Let them finish, we'll do it. Right? The hadith says, before the end of time, فُشُوُّ التِّجَارَةِ, business will be a lot. People will do a lot of business. حَتَّى تُعِينَ الْمَرْأَةِ, until a wife will help her husband doing business. Meaning what? They couldn't imagine, the Sahaba, that our women will actually mix with stranger men. They couldn't imagine this. So the Prophet said, before the end of time, business will spread so much that women will be doing business with men. Not the husband, with non-mahram men. We're not talking about the permissibility of working. Men and women, can women work? This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how tijara will increase. Business will increase. The next one, وَقَطْعُ الْأَرْحَامِ, people will break family ties. Over small issues, families will break. Brothers, cousins, wiratha, inheritance, people will fight. Family ties will be broken. Small issues. This is Sahih Hadith. قَطْعُ الْأَرْحَامِ. The fourth one, وَفُشُوُّ الْقَلَمِ, the qalam will be spread. What does that mean? فُشُوُّ الْعِلْمِ, qalam يعني كتابة. Books, look, books filled. Every masjid you go, there's books, but there's nobody to read them. وَفُشُوُّ الْقَلَمِ, knowledge will be there, but no one will read. The next one, I'm not saying this. This is Sadaqa Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the Prophet saying this. So don't shoot the messenger. Don't come after me. This is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. And it's the truth. The next one he said, يَظْهَرُ شَهَادَةَ الزُّورِ, false testimony will be spread. People will give false account, testimony, false witness. People will lie. And وَكِتْمَانُ, and وَكِتْمَانُ شَهَادَةِ الْحَقِّ, truthfulness, true testimony will be hidden. People will be afraid to speak the truth and to testify to the truth. So this is from, why did I say this hadith? From the story of Musa alayhi salam when he went to help khidmah. He went himself. He didn't ask them, what do you need? He went himself, he took their animals, he fed them. They got water. And he went back and he sat in the shade. He didn't go and ask them for a reward. And do you know what dua he made after this? The reason I mentioned this story, after we do khidmah and we serve people, the best thing to do is make dua, because your du'as will be accepted. Do you know what dua Musa alayhi salam made? Please, someone for a Canadian chocolate. I still didn't bring from last time. I'm not keeping my promises. Huh? Yes. Which dua? Any? What was the dua? Yes, sister. Allahu Akbar. Thank you. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. Oh Allah, whatever good that you have for me or you send upon me, I am in need of it. At that time he was hungry, thirsty, and he just did khidmah. He served. So that tells you that you don't have to have money. I said in Jummah, you don't have to have wealth to serve people. You just have to have a humble personality and the willingness to do good for people. Musa alayhi salam, in his most vulnerable state, he left his city, stranger, hunger, thirst, sitting, waiting. He helped someone he could easily ask to get paid. He still didn't. He went back, sat in the shade. He said, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. Teaching us that when we do khidmah and serve people, make dua, because Allah will give you what you need. I remember we were in the last year of graduating. So to be a shaykh, if you any sister, any brother, you want to study ilm and be a scholar, it takes about 11 years, okay? Just like doctor. So you can call me doctor if you want, but I'm shaykh. I like the shaykh title. So the last year class, okay, in the boarding school where we studied, every class has an assigned area what they have to clean. Teaching you and me that our children should be taught khidmah at home. They should have an area to clean, or someone should have a chore. Okay, you have to put down the dastarkhan, the sheet, or you have to take the plates. You have to do certain jobs at home. Because if we don't teach them khidmah, they will not do it for anyone. Like if, for example, right now I was to tell someone, okay, hey man, go fill up my water bottle. People will be like, hey, why is he asking me? But with my students, I sometimes purposely say, could you go fill up my water bottle too? And then, because the kids are not used to doing anything for someone else without expecting anything in return. They're not used to doing something for free. Volunteering, oh no. Why? I can play games, I can do this. So the last year class, we had to clean, I remember, the last year class. I was assigned, 2006, I remember. I was assigned the little kids' washroom. So our boarding school had one section for small kids, one section for big kids. My job was to clean every day the little kids' washroom. You know how hard that is? You clean it, and next hour you go and check. It's a mess. And then the supervisor comes, says, hey, Maqsood, your area is not done, go. Then you have to go clean it. But our teachers used to say, now you guys might say, oh, this is child labor. But we were like in our 20s, man, relax. So our teacher said, when you clean, and it's hurting your ego to go clean a bathroom. But when you finish, make dua that, oh Allah, the way I made this bathroom shine and clean, you also clean my heart and my character. Khidmah, this is what khidmah does. In our language, Urdu, those people who understand Urdu, they say khidmat se khuda milta hai. They say by serving people, you get the pleasure of Allah. This is how. So we got Prophet Musa. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to serve people. I'll finish with, I have many points, but excuse me. I want to mention how the great people used to serve people. So we get examples. Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. In his time, he used to go and patrol. We know he used to go at nighttime, patrol the city. He was the leader, Umar. And he used to go and patrol the city. One night there was a caravan that came. And the caravan was resting. And Umar bin Khattab told another Sahabi, he said, you and me, we will be security. While they are resting, we will stay up and make sure that nobody takes their caravan or steals anything from them. So they stayed up. While this group is resting, Umar bin Khattab is walking, he hears a baby cry. And this is a famous incident. The reason I'm mentioning it is the khidmah. Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh knocks on the door and he says, sister, you know, your baby is crying. What's wrong? She said, oh, I'm trying to keep him quiet. So he goes, and the second time he comes, the third time he comes, and he gets upset. He said, what kind of mother are you? Your child is crying. She said, what do you want me to do? She didn't know he was Umar. She said, what do you want me to do? Umar gives an allowance to only those kids. So you know child tax benefit? Canada has it. They give every child, if your income, you know, they give you some money every month for your children. This was started by Umar bin Khattab. A lot of people don't even know. Umar bin Khattab started this allowance. But he would give it to the child who is not feeding anymore from the mother. So up to 2, and then they're weaned off. You know, they're not feeding from their mother anymore. So she said, I am trying to wean my baby off of me. So Umar bin Khattab, who has given an allowance, he will get that allowance. Because he doesn't give an allowance to babies. And Umar bin Khattab couldn't believe it. He's the leader. Couldn't believe it. He said, because of me, these people are going through difficulty, these babies. You know, their mothers are trying to wean them off early so they could get an allowance. So he goes for Fajr prayer. Sahaba, they say he led Fajr, but they said we could not understand what he was reciting because of the crying. He was crying so much in Fajr that they could not understand the recitation properly. Then after Fajr, he stood up to the people and he said, you know, woe be to you, O Umar. Bu'san laka ya Umar. Woe be to you, O Umar. How many children might have passed away because of you? How many babies might have died because of you? And then he announced and he said, from today, the allowance will be given to every child who is born. They will get the allowance from the first day. This was Umar bin Khattab. The same Umar in another incident, khidmah, service to people. Khidmah differentiates you from leaders. It differentiates you from common people to become elite people of Allah. And when you do khidmah, you're not supposed to tell people about it. I told you things of 20 years ago, just to give you encouragement. But when we do a khidmah, a service, how many poor people you help back home? Do you guys know how many people are struggling sometimes? We don't pay attention actually because we're so busy. Every other day I get a call from back home. Someone calling me, my cousin, my aunt, or so-and-so girl needs to do her exam, but she doesn't have money to pay the fees, the entrance fees. Can you help? So I said, okay, no problem. We called my sister. I said, hey, can you send money? She said, yeah, send the money. People, you invest in people, and Allah will reward you. And I'll give you one more. We have like 5 minutes? 4 minutes? 4 minutes? No, he said just khalas. He said, هذا فراق بيني وبينك. That's it. Okay, did we understand what I'm saying? That's the first question. Humble, khidmah, service. And khidmah could be as simple as, look, your parents, giving them this. Putting shoes for your parents. My youngest son, may Allah bless him. Say Ameen. Make dua for him. He's called the Khadimul Bayt. He's the servant of the house. This guy, mashallah, he does everything. He'll put my shoes down for me. I said, no, you don't have to do it. He said, no. He puts my shoes down. Is it hard? It's not hard. It takes just a little bit of consideration. Imagine if all you young people started thinking, okay, my dad just came home or my mom just came home, so let me take their jacket. They'll be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you taking my jacket? But you just, a simple act. And subhanAllah, elite. I'll finish with this. Umar bin Khattab, we know the famous incident where at night he was patrolling and he saw the fire. Everyone knows this incident. But I want to bring you to the statement. So he goes and he sees a fire, and then he gets closer and he asks permission. There's a lady, he said, "Can I enter? Can I come close?" She said, "Yes." And he says, "What are you doing?" He sees a pot with rocks inside. And they're just boiling. Just to show the kids, the lady has no food to feed her kids. She's showing them that I'm cooking. Just so they fall asleep or they don't go crazy and they don't start. So what does she do? Umar bin Khattab said, "What happened? You don't..." And then he says, "What's going on?" Like when he hears this, he said, "Wait." He goes back. She don't know he's Umar. He goes back and he takes a bag and he fills up food and everything and he carries it. Aslam, who was with him, said, No, Amir al-Mu'mineen, let me carry it." And you know what Umar said? He said, "Are you going to carry my weight on the Day of Judgment too? Leave it, it's my job." He puts it on his shoulder, he goes, and he tells the lady, "You be with your kids." He starts to blow into the oven where they're trying to make the fire, and he cooks until his beard was filled with smoke. He's cooking. He prepares, and he serves them the food. He could have just left, give food and leave. But he said, "I want to see them smile the way I saw them crying." So he serves them. And he goes, and she says to him, so the first thing when she said, Allahu baynana wa bayna Umar. Allah is going to deal with Umar. And Umar got scared, So he didn't tell her. She said, "You should be Amir al-Mu'mineen instead of Umar." He said that. And Umar said, "No, when you come there, next time when you come, you will find me there. I'll be there." SubhanAllah. So, all these incidents, I could go on and on of stories, but wallahi, how do you keep a community together with humbleness, humility, and service to each other? Imagine all of you are trying to serve each other. "No, brother, no, let me do this for you, brother. No, let me do this." Imagine how much love there is. Imagine a family does that. Husband, wife, children, cousins. Everybody is trying to help each other. Sometimes we serve so we could get something later. Remember, what Allah has is better than everything. Once, I was driving, it was snow. So I slipped. So a good advice, because I'm a winter driver, you guys already know, you got pretty bad weather here. If you have a car which is light, put something in the back, like sandbags, or I put like cases of water. The 40 bottles from Walmart or Costco. I just put water bottles in the back of my car. So it keeps it down, it keeps it stable. So I didn't have that, so I slipped, like swerved, and there was a lake. So I went right all the way close to the snow, so I stopped before I went inside the lake. But it was frozen, so it was okay. Do you guys know where I lived? There's a road on the lake for 200 kilometers. You just drive on the lake. So it's like there's two cities. In the winter, there's a road. In the summer, there's no road. You have to fly. So in winter, we used to drive 2 hours. It's on the lake, frozen. And the ice is it's very thick. So I was there, and one guy, subhanAllah, he's a counselor. He's one of the city councilors, politician. So he pulled, I didn't know, he brought the rope, he pulled my car all the way out. And then I said, "Hey, thank you, man, thank you very much, this and that." He said, "No problem." It goes like this. He gave me his card. He said, "I'm your local counselor. When voting comes, please remember me." I said, "Okay." I said, 100% I'm going to vote for you. 100% I'm going to vote for you. He's doing khidmah. He's ready to help people. He doesn't care who it is, right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and you the ability to humble ourselves and serve people. When we humble ourselves, Allah will raise us, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for your time. Forgive me for any shortcomings. May Allah accept our gathering. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول
كيف حالك؟ पाकिस्तान कहाँ से आप? मैं हैदराबाद।
हैदराबाद सेल से ना?